Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service, in conjunction with the Raj Yoga Prison Ministry and the Long Circular Mall, is delighted to welcome you all once again for the 8th installment of our Inmates Art Exhibition. The art program is just one of the many initiatives that is being used by the prison service to prepare offenders for successful re-entry into society. And these programs are carried out by what we know as the Programs and Industry Department. And coming now to bring greetings on behalf of the prison service and the Programs Department in particular, I'd like us to put our hands together and welcome the Assistant Commissioner of Prisons, Programs and Industry, Mr. Sherwin Bruce.
It is with a great sense of joy and pride I welcome you to this outreach program, our 8th annual Inmate Art Exhibition. It would be remiss of me not to place before you the mission statement so you would understand today's proceedings in its proper context. The Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service, as an arm of the criminal justice system, is committed to the protection of society and crime prevention by facilitating the opportunities for habilitation and rehabilitation of offenders whilst maintaining control under safe, secure, and humane conditions. I implore you all, as you view the exhibition, to keep in your mind's eye to be the change you want to see. Look at today's presentation for not only the beautiful works of art, but consider the creativity, the vision of character building, and the change of mindset, all in preparation for reintegration into society.
We have lost our way. When I say we, I mean we as a people have lost our way. Since my hiatus from society, I have observed many changes all around. You know, technical advancements, Metro Man, independent woman, and all levels of other sophistication. Education too is at an all-time high. And yet, with all the oil, gas, and our hard-earned degrees, our beloved country, and the world by extension, is destabilizing. We face growing challenges with the same frame of mind, so naturally we come up with the same unsatisfactory results. It is said that madness is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. We as a people need to reform our minds in order to become more competitive on the global market, thereby ensuring and restoring ourselves and country to the glorious future our forefathers envisioned for us. Trinidad and Tobago was granted independence. Let me read that again, please. Trinidad and Tobago was granted independence with the understanding that if together we aspire, then surely together we shall achieve. Our theme this year is aptly titled, "To pool our efforts aimed at helping women who are under attack from their male counterparts." The Commissioner of Prisons is mandated by law to encourage and promote the reformation of inmates. As such, to demonstrate our reformed status and readiness to serve the public, proceeds from the sale of our art pieces will be donated to abused women. Additionally, on Saturday at the closing of this year's exhibition, we, the inmates, will be conducting a face painting session for children. This will be free of charge. So fathers and moms can bring your kids, preferably those above the age of 2, to experience our talent firsthand. Patrons desirous of acquiring our paintings know that when you purchase from us, you are actually investing in the reformation of our citizens and the development of our nation.
Let's put our hands together for Mohammed Aladdin, one of the inmates at the art program. And he's just one of dozens of inmates who are involved in producing different artwork throughout the prison system. So as the prison service embraced the restorative justice philosophy, a lot of structure was put in place to ensure that we maximize our investment in the work that we're doing to provide opportunities for offenders to rehabilitate themselves. And so some new positions and a new department called Programs and Industry was created. Coming to speak on behalf of the prison service at this time is the head of that department, the Deputy Commissioner of Prisons with responsibility for Programs and Industry. And he's also representing the Commissioner of Prisons, who is unavoidably absent this morning. Let's put our hands together and welcome Mr. Dean Clark.
It is my pleasure to stand before you today and share some brief remarks as the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service, in collaboration with the Brahma Kumaris Raja Yoga Foundation and Long Circular Mall, launch our 8th Inmates Art Exhibition. I would like to extend sincerest apologies on behalf of the Acting Commissioner of Prisons, Mr. William Alexander, who is unavoidably absent today due to previously arranged commitments from which he could not be excused. I want to commend Sister K. Narayan Singh and the Raja Yoga Foundation for joining with other noble stakeholders like Long Circular Mall and the Trinidad and Tobago Art Society for taking the bold step to partner with the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service to showcase the great work that is being done behind prison walls. As the prison service carries out our mandate as dictated by our vision and mission, and the shared responsibility model to provide opportunities for offenders to rehabilitate themselves and prepare for re-entry to society, we will continue to build relationships and develop partnerships with like-minded organizations and develop partnerships with such foundations and institutions as the Raj Yoga Foundation, which has been with us for the last 29 years. We also have Cup Camp, the Living Water Community, and Prison Fellowship International. At the heart of the issues we face as a people in relation to crime, criminality, and criminal behavior is a problem of the heart. This can only be successfully addressed if offenders have a genuine encounter and sincere relationship with God. In this regard, the prison service recognizes the important role of the faith community in the administration of justice, in influencing change in behavior and attitude and the transformation of lives. I therefore want to express our gratitude and appreciation for the outstanding work that is being done by the faith-based organization behind prison walls in an effort to touch and save lives. We in the prison service believe that everyone deserves the chance to fulfill their greatest potential, and nothing should limit the scope of their futures in spite of being incarcerated. As a consequence, we have been doing all that we possibly can to provide those under our charge with equal, fair, and appropriate opportunities for rehabilitation and reintegration to society as constructive citizens ready to contribute to national development. The art program is just one of many initiatives being used in our restorative justice efforts to equip offenders with a skill so that they will return to society as employable individuals with the capacity to be self-employed. Other initiatives include music programs, radio broadcasting, and we have the Rise Maximum Radio here today with us, agriculture, honey production, food preparation, bread, cakes and pastries, construction, and a host of write-up courses, just to name a few. Today, as we open the 8th Inmates Art Exhibition, we feel a sense of pride, success, and accomplishment. 10 years ago, this exhibition started with the work of 3 inmates out of the Carrera Convict Prison. We can now boast of art programs in almost every correction facility in our country. Over the next few days, we will have on display the quality work of at least 10 incarcerated artists, showcasing approximately 45 pieces of work with at least 35 of them. I also want to mention here the work of Bill Trotman, who was a former art teacher at the maximum security prison, and he was really dedicated, and some commendation would have to go into the work that he would have put in throughout those years teaching art.
Okay, I'm here with Richard Huggins, one of the artists, one of the inmates from Carrera, and it's always a pleasure to be talking to you. Since the last exhibition, what have you been up to?
Well, we have been trying to develop ourselves more into the arts and more into reforming our mind. And through Raj Yoga meditation, we have found a different um, aspect in rehabilitating ourselves. Right? And through the set meditation, through Raj Yoga, have been be a great fruit of success and thanking God for giving us a different view of the life.
What new pieces have you done since the last time?
Well, this one to the back here is one that is
That's the one with the
the
lion,
beauty,
right?
yeah, the beauty of aspiration. I did the love and nature. That's another one, 3D. I did that that one across there. That is colors of thoughts.
Okay.
I did a couple few.
What, being an artist incarcerated, how has this art helped you to, you know, allow your whole mental, you know, to be in prison, you know, locked away? What has the art done for you to keep you going through all these years?
Well, art had done a lot for me, like helping me to understand life, look at it a different way. Also, help you to have patience and understanding. Also, to look at the other inmates and show respect to another one.
I'd just like to say that on behalf of, first of all, the home construction group of companies, as well as obviously the Long Circular Mall management, we want to welcome all of you. And certainly, again, yes, the initiative we continue to support. We want to always be able to express our support formally for the ministry in its restorative efforts. And I would like to personally single out the supporters of this program, certainly the ministry itself and their continued involvement. And most importantly, we always want to make mention and make recognition of the fine work that is done by the participants themselves. We see it as an important aspect of our annual calendar now of events, and we've extended this to Twin City Mall as well, which also falls under our purview. And you know, just again to state how happy we are, not just in terms of the track record that we've established now, but going forward as well. So we hope to continue this initiative for many years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hussam. And the prison service certainly appreciates your partnership with us in our efforts to transform lives and build a better Trinidad and Tobago. So we look forward to working with you in the years ahead. The Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service, as an arm of the criminal justice system, is a department that falls under the Ministry of National Security. And we are really delighted about the support that we've received from the Ministry of National Security in our restorative justice efforts. And in show of that support and commitment to the work that we're doing in the prison service, we have with us this morning the Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of National Security, the Honorable Glenda Jennings-Smith. And she's going to come and address us at this time. Let's put our hands together and welcome the Honorable Glenda Jennings-Smith.
Hope is a powerful weapon that no one power on earth can deprive you of. This is a quote I've taken from Nelson Mandela, a restorative justice champion who was once incarcerated. And I'll repeat it. Hope is a powerful weapon that no one power on earth can deprive you of. Hope. It is my pleasure to address you all today on this distinctive occasion of the 8th Annual Inmates Art Exhibition under the apt and powerful theme, Together We Aspire, in the premise of hope for reshaped minds and transformed lives. Today's event showcased the talent of inmates, and the Ministry of National Security will always pledge support to programs such as these, aimed at inspiring a new level of mental consciousness in persons incarcerated at the nation's prisons. I congratulate you on behalf of the Minister of National Security, the inmate artists, for your efforts and the commitment to achieving inner change. Your display of creativity and talent are expressions of positive transformation and represents the values learned along the way, such as patience, discipline, and determination. We will all agree that art provides a medium by which inmates can channel their energy into positive therapeutic creative release, whilst at the same time assist with new skills and new hope. Creative expressions engender a change in behavior and a change in mindset. It is in this vein that the concept of restorative justice as an approach to the prison reform becomes especially important. And I wish to underscore that one must not mistake the adoption of a restorative justice practice as absolving offenders from the offense that they have committed, as this is not the model's purpose. Restorative justice holds the offender responsible for his or her actions, but it provides an opportunity for victim, offender, and the community members to identify and address their needs as a consequence of the wrong. So the process endeavors to find an outcome that affords repatriation, reintegration, and restoration of relationships in communities with a view to promote healing and preclude further harm. It can no longer be lock them up and throw away the key, as such initiatives of the past never really bore the fruit that we require in today's society in stemming the tide of repeat offending. We must therefore pursue strategies which ensure that today's offenders become tomorrow's contributors to national development. Today is a signal that we are on the right track. At this juncture, I wish to re-emphasize that the government of Trinidad and Tobago sees the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service as an important arm of national security and the whole process of treating and reintegration of persons who were incarcerated. As such, we have identified as a matter of priority the need to address the matters related to prison reform, using the two-pronged approach of a packed legislative agenda and improvements by way of infrastructural development. A new policy for a prison management system is being framed, and it is aimed towards reducing reoffending, improving rehabilitation and the prison's conditions, prison security and physical facilities, and prison legislation. Ladies and gentlemen, consistent with this policy approach and my ministry's commitment to adopting a reintegrated penal policy, the government of Trinidad and Tobago has committed to reassess efforts by updating the existing prison rules of 1943, introducing a system of parole, community corrections, a youth justice system, probation and mediation, all elements of a system that is restorative.
We want to thank the Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of National Security, the Honorable Glenda Jennings-Smith, for that outstanding address and those relevant words of encouragement to the artists who have their work on display here. We also want to thank you, ma'am, for sharing some of the best practices that the ministry intends to implement in collaboration with the prison service. And we look forward to continued work with the ministry to build a better prison system here in Trinidad and Tobago. So let's put our hands together again for the Parliamentary Secretary. We have now come to the feature address on today's program, and that feature address will be delivered by a person who's no stranger to the prison service and the prison system here in Trinidad and Tobago. She has been working together with us for a number of years in various capacities. Dr. Catherine Ali is a widely known and well-respected consultant in mediation and restorative justice here in Trinidad and Tobago. She has an extensive resume in mediation and conflict resolution on a global scale. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you this morning, to deliver the feature address, Dr. Catherine Ali. Let's put our hands together and welcome.
Thank you very much, Ms. Badesi. Good morning, everyone, and it's a pleasure to be here, all protocols having been observed. I must say it is really wonderful that this is the 8th year of art exhibitions and that this idea has continued to grow and we see more beautiful work around. I want to compare what you're doing and the restorative justice aspect of it to something that was on in Trinidad over the weekend, which you mightn't have heard about, but it was a moringa festival. This is the new superfood that everyone is talking about, the plant that people find so interesting, that is the answer to so many of our nutritional needs and preventing diseases. It seems that every single part of this plant is useful. The leaves particularly have everything our body needs. It builds every system, including the immune system, so it reduces diseases. And just the seed alone is a great brain food. It helps us to focus, to be clear, and to recall, and to come to a better understanding. Now, these two things together, when the mind and the body are nourished, we can get a sense of balance. And with the balance, we can move more into harmony and alignment of all that we need to do. And with the harmony, we can take a step towards being more easy with ourselves. And from ease, we can go to peace in a shorter step. And this, I think, is what restorative justice is doing as well. It's an attempt to move into peacemaking through various practices and procedures. It attempts to provide an experience of justice. And from this experience, people might view things differently and so relate differently, and so we might have a different type of society. These different experiences of justice were hoped to come through the programs, through the procedures, and through the processes that would provide more balance, more inclusion, and a tangible sense of what is fair. This comes about mainly when power and aggression and anger do not dominate what we're trying to do, when there is an opportunity to reflect, and when that reflection can happen sometimes in silence. We know that prisons are very noisy places. And when images that are in our minds and sometimes in our subconscious can come to the fore, and where we can reach inside something that is important to us and be more present to it. And when we do this, we can think more deeply about things, maybe think about things in new ways, explore fresh perspectives, and connect with our creativity. And with that, we're connecting with our dignity. And with that, we are restoring our humanness as people. And all that is what you have been doing in your art. So when you ask yourself, what has this got to do with restorative justice? When you have had a chance to reflect on things that are important to you and to portray them and express them, you're looking at new aspects and waking up aspects of yourselves and trying to explore and express this in new ways.
Okay, I have with me Alil Mohammed, the chief architect, the man responsible for all this beautiful artwork that has been done inside Carrera Prison. Another year has come around. You all are out here exhibiting your pieces. How was the last year been for you?
The last year has been really, really taxful on the on the brain and on the efforts and that kind of thing. You know, coming out from the San Fernando effort, the Roving Caravan Community Outreach Program and so on, and former Mayor Kazem Hussein, now Minister actually, right, commissioned 2 works of art, the Town Hall and the City Hall by extension. You know, and there was some really amazing efforts. So coming out of that, we went to the Port of Spain prison where we worked in conjunction with the Children's Ark, by Mr. Simon de Labastille, and sponsored by the president himself, Mr. Camona, right? And that was some really amazing efforts there, where we trying to do our part to mend the bridge that we created in society. You know, some of us have been guilty of abusing women ourselves, right? And now we're trying to repair that damage and encourage others to work with us. You know, let we heal Trinidad and Tobago. As I was saying earlier in my speech, you know, our forefathers laid the foundation for independence, and that together we aspire and together we achieve. So let me just do that, work together in harmony for all around better result.
Anything you would like to share with the viewers before we wrap?
Well, I just want to say that the quality of our works this year, you know, is of a higher standard. It's more spiritual. You know, working with Sister K from the Raja Yoga Center has helped us to tap into that godlike quality that is inherent in all of us. And I think it's evident in our works today, you know. So when you buy our work, you're investing in the reformation of a man and development of a society, in the healing of a nation. I mean, Captain, we ship sinking, you know, let me keep it afloat.